Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
With 2 days away from Election Day, both candidates for Michigan governor pulling out all the stops. Both Governor Whitmer and Republican candidate Tudor Dixon making stops all across the state today. Victor Williams joins us now with more on both campaigns' message heading into Tuesday.
Yeah, well, we're really getting down to the wire with both sides preparing for battle as this race for governor continues. With just a short time left before November 8th's election, Gretchen Whitmer and Tudor Dixon making their final rounds to rack up as many voters as possible.
We got 48 hours left, right?
On Sunday, incumbent runner Gretchen Whitmer appeared in Grand Rapids, speaking on achievements made during her time in office.
We've landed an incredible number of jobs. We're building out industry for generations to come. My opponent wants to take us backwards on all those fronts. I don't think that's the Michigan that we want or deserve.
Rival Tudor Dixon, however, made a stop in Sterling Heights.
Let me tell you something, this election, it's not about political power. It is about service and leadership, and I hope to serve you well.
Governor Whitmer spoke on the state of education in the state and, of course, not holding back with an opposing stance against Dixon's views on abortion.
Are we going to keep moving Michigan forward, or are we going to go backwards? Backwards on women's rights, backwards on voting rights, backwards on education investment and investment in infrastructure.
With the war on words soon coming to a head, Dixon is confident she'll come out on top, but only time will tell.
You are robbing the people of Michigan. Why? Because you don't know if you'll still be in office by then? Let me tell you something, you won't.
And polls show that both candidates are pretty close, with Gretchen Whitmer having the lead. The question is if she can keep that momentum until Tuesday. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Victor. And be sure to join us this morning. Both Gretchen Whitmer and Tudor Dixon will be joining us live as, of course, we approach Election Day. Rhonda Walker will interview both live starting at 6 a.m. right here on Local 4 and also streaming on Local 4 Plus. And with Election Day 2 days away, there were several events over the weekend to bring more voters out to the polls. The first event, dubbed Take Your Souls to the Polls Weekend, provided Detroit voters free transportation from their homes to various polling locations in Detroit ahead of Election Day. The second event was put on by the LGBT Detroit and One Church Detroit for One Faith, One Vote. Both organizations encouraged folks to submit their absentee ballots and then even provided a car procession to submit them following a church service and a luncheon. Threats and intimidation on Election Day. Experts in law enforcement warning both have been on the rise really across the country, especially where the election has been the most heated, and that includes Metro Detroit and the state of Michigan overall. Grant Herms has the very latest on some of those growing concerns.
New worries and warnings about the potential for voter intimidation on Tuesday. The Brennan Center for Justice singling out Michigan as one of a handful of swing states where bad actors have been encouraged to show up.
There are more organized efforts we're seeing this year than we have in recent years to engage in things that can be intimidating to voters.
Michigan has not seen similar incidents like Arizona, where people have been sitting masked and armed, conducting so-called surveillance on ballot drop boxes. But the worry is that still might happen, or that voters waiting in line on Tuesday could be targets.
Intimidation can happen anywhere that voters are voting. So anything that is meant to sort of deter someone from voting or makes them feel afraid about voting. So things like surveillance or, obviously people carrying weapons near places where folks are voting. Again, even though we are seeing some organized efforts along those lines, and that's certainly concerning.
On the other side of the ballot box, there is still concern about threats to election workers. The FBI is saying last month it's seen an uptick in threats in those same major swing states, and there have already been warnings about self-described armies to challenge the counting of votes on election night to halt the process, or challenges before counting even starts, like the lawsuit still in court aimed at Detroit absentee votes already cast.
We've been watching a number of these so-called citizen integrity efforts, and they use different methods that are really shoddy to try to undermine people's confidence in the eligibility of voters voting.
Now, the Brennan Center did want to stress that for most voters, Election Day will be normal, but the fear is still there, and they wanted to say that voter intimidation is more than just wrong or inconvenient. It is illegal, and if it happens to you, it should be reported to law enforcement. Grant Herms, Local 4.
All right, Grant, time now for a check of the weather as we approach the start of your work week. Brian is here with a look at what we can expect. Hi, Brian.
Hey there, Sandra, and good morning, everybody. It's going to be a very tranquil week in terms of weather for the week coming up. We're going into, since we are past midnight now into Monday morning. Tower cam right now over downtown Detroit. We've kept just a little bit of high cloud cover around. Other than that, it is a cool evening, or giving way to a cool morning. I will get the verbiage right past midnight here. 55 right now in Detroit, 51 over in Howell, 54 right now working into Port Huron, 52 over in Monroe. We're pretty much into the 50s for everybody. We will go into the 40s overnight tonight compared to where we were this time yesterday. Most places running just a few degrees cooler heading out the door, and we'll keep that into the rest of the overnight hours tonight. We've got a little bit of high cloud cover off to the north and west, trying to move off to the east, but as it encounters drier air, it's fizzling out. So as we go throughout our day today, not tomorrow, we'll start off into the 40s this morning, only warming into the upper 50s with plenty of sunshine this afternoon. Then we've got dry weather sticking around for Election Day, and it is a temperature roller coaster throughout the next 7 days. I'll talk more about when we're going to get some much colder air moving into the region. Your complete 4-1 forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Brian. New tonight, one man in the hospital after being hit by an Inkster police car. This happened on Inkster Road, right near Cherry Hill. Police say the man walked in front of the car when he was hit. At last check, the man is in his 50s, and he is in temporary serious condition at this hour. An investigation underway after a fire at the Plum Hollow Country Club in Southfield. Firefighters say the fire started in a building that stores golf carts. We're told the building has some damage to the inside and also the roof. A gas meter was on fire when firefighters got there. No injuries have been reported from staff or firefighters, and right now it's still not clear exactly what started that fire. The Shelby Township Police Department mourning the loss of one of their own. Veteran Sergeant Daniel Kimmerzell was found unresponsive in his patrol car. This was Saturday while he was on duty. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Police say his passing did not involve any suspicious or criminal activity. He was a respected 17-year member of the department. He was 51 years old. Police are investigating two deadly pedestrian crashes tonight. The first crash happened early this morning, right around 2:30. It happened on northbound I-75 near 8 Mile. Police say the 41-year-old ran out of gas and was actually blocking the right lane of the 8 Mile exit ramp. He was putting gas in his car when both he and his car were hit. They were hit from behind. He was pronounced dead there at the scene. Police tell us their investigation continues. The second crash happened on southbound M10 at West Grand Boulevard. It happened right around 2 this morning. Police say a 44-year-old was out walking in the left lane of the freeway. He crossed over into the center lane. That's when he was hit by a driver in a Ford Fusion. Police say he was pronounced dead there at the scene. They do continue to investigate this accident as well. Well, we are going to have to wait until tonight to find out if someone wins the latest record high Powerball jackpot, which is now $1.9 billion. Although Saturday's drawing for the record prize did not have a winner, we do know that a Metro Detroiter did win a pretty nice prize. A $1 million winning ticket was sold. It was sold at the K&G Deli on Connor in Detroit. The store will now get a $5,000 bonus commission once someone comes forward to claim that prize. In Michigan, players won more than $4 million. Coming up later on in our newscast, we're going to break down just what you could do with that $1.9 million jackpot. The answers might just surprise you. All right, well, speaking of winning, it came down to the wire, but the Lions finished the job this afternoon against Green Bay. Hobie's here now with a look at what was an electric day at Ford Field.
They hit the jackpot.
Yeah, they did.
Sunday, that's for sure. Well, from trading their leading receiver to letting go of their secondary coach, this really was a week of change for the Lions. And you know what? They also changed their ways on the field against the Packers on Sunday, getting their first win since week 2. This young Lions defense made life miserable for Aaron Rodgers all day long. The Packers QB did have almost 300 passing yards, but also 3 picks, all of them near the goal line. Kirby Joseph had 2 of those INTs. Jared Goff, he only threw for 136 yards, his second lowest total as a Lion, but also 2 touchdowns. The Lions led 15-6 early in the 4th. And at the end of the game, the Packers still had a chance. Rodgers trying to keep hope alive, but it ends on a 4th down incompletion. Great stand by the defense. The Lions beat the Packers 15-9, their 2nd straight win against Green Bay.
I'm just proud of them. I really am. I'm proud of our coaches. I'm proud of the players. I'm proud of everybody, you know. Because everybody puts a lot of work into it. I know it's only 2, but my gosh, man. And there again to see, you know, end of the game, man, 1 stop, our defense comes through. I just think we need that. We needed that.
And the offense did struggle today, but the defense played probably their best game of the season. Whenever you look at going up against a guy like Aaron Rodgers, holding Green Bay to single digits in points. We'll have more on that side of the ball and that defense's performance coming up in Sports Final Edition in just a few.
Finally a win. All right. Thank you, Shelby. So much more to come on this very late edition of Local 4 News. Here's Karen Drew.
After 15 months of exposing mistakes at the morgue,
I do have to ask about the record keeping.
Now there's new leadership.
We are going to fix that.
Local 4 investigators taking you inside the Wayne County Medical Examiner's office.
I think we will see a very big improvement.
We weren't allowed in before, but that all changes now.
How's the Wayne County morgue going to be different to families?
We're getting answers to your questions coming up.